A pleasant good evening to you all. I am Shane Harris, bringing you a Saturday night special of Shane Harris Tonight. This is episode 17, where it was supposed to be yesterday's episode, but due to a major delay, we had to get Oban episode be posted up last night. So this evening, Saturday, is supposed to be episode that would have happened yesterday if the technical delay never happened. It is Royal Rumble night, so it's a terrible posting time for me. But I can't really afford a Sunday either because that is the night of NASCAR's preseason thunder, the Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is on Fox. So, tonight's episode of Shane Harris Tonight will focus on one thing that Fox will handle, and of course that is the World Cup. This year, the next World Cup will be shared by the US, Mexico, and Canada. Philadelphia will be one of the cities that'll be hosting some of the games. And one of the countries that you would think are one of the best in terms of placing your bets on happens to be France, and for good reason. They've won a few championships, including in 2018, and they have one of the best in Kylian Mbappe. So, where does France end up in terms of soccer, and how does it correlate with Shane Harris Tonight? That is because there is a cartoon that is very underrated, and not much people on the English-speaking side of the world have talked about this. So, Shane Harris Tonight will focus on this gem. Street football, aka Footaroo. Let's travel back to 2005. In the US, the MLS is kind of small. There was no such thing as the Philadelphia Union. But in France, Ligue 1 was starting to grow. And at the same time, recreational soccer on smaller levels, including sometimes being played in city streets, have also grew because soccer is the most popular sport in France and in other EU member countries. So, what's not to love about a cartoon that pays homage to the popular recreational activity? Let's start with the fact that you get really good characters being developed from the very beginning. Consider a few of them I have studied upon for the past few days while also studying Oban. The main character is Sebastian Tagano, also known as Tog, who is played by the guy who happens to be the European French dubbing actor for Michael Cera. A guy by the name of Herve, and he happens to be pretty interesting. He also got to do stuff on MTV's Teen Wolf, and he also gets to do two kinds of captains. Not only that Tog is the captain of the Blues soccer team on the TV show, Herve also gets to do the voice of Painty on the SpongeBob intro for the European French folks out there, which I'm not going to talk about because I despise that shit. Anyway, Tagano is one heck of a character that's developed. He is born in Argentina, and he moved to France, and the rest is pretty much history, because this is a storyline-driven series, and I'm not giving away too much spoilers. Among some of the other characters, you got Eloise, who happens to be best friends, Sabrina, who's also a student of the Riffler Institute, Jeremy, who happens to appear in the first season, but he will become a more integral part in season 4. More on that in a moment. And of course, you got the Techno brothers, Takar and Nordine. This series has a perfect Saturday morning kind of approach. The animation is smooth yet a bit rough at times. It's theme music that Akhenaton has done for the series, and also Teo Vidigal also did a theme for this one. It is rap based and it is pretty fitting for the time, and also the setting works as well. It's a nice little port town inspired by the outskirts of Marseille, which is a very popular city in the soccer world because you have AC Marseille from Liga in there. And they're basically a bunch of kids who all work together to claim the championship for street football. That's usually played on an international level. They got rivals from all over the place that are going at it, both nationally and internationally. So it is a blast. But in this TV show, you have the introduction of one very important side character that would end up becoming a main character later on. Tagano meets up with a side character named Raphael Wong, a young kid who basically has been scouted, and Tog envisions him as the future of street football. Well, following the events of Season 3, the series has been put on hiatus because the producers at Zodiak decided to do Street Football Extreme, which was a flop despite having very detailed CGI. And coming in 2022, we were treated to this. Raphael Wong is known as Le Petit Dragon, the Little Dragon, as identified by his dark blue and aquatone shirt with a dragon's head graphic. And his personality is kind of expected for an 11-year-old. Very much a go-getter. He may be a bit of an unsportsmanlike person at times, yet he possesses all the crazy skills you would find by any means necessary. So when Season 4 came about, all the original characters from the past were basically moved on from life. And now, Raphael has to assemble his own team because everyone else rejected him because of how small he is for his age, which is unfortunate. So he gathered 4 people from across town and named his team the Blues in Tagano's honor. So that is pretty nice. And out of the bunch that I know about, this character warrants mentioning. Assad, their resident speed demon, who happens to be from Algeria, who happens to also be involved in a shipwreck, and he would basically become part of the team due to the sheer amount of speed when the team was being assembled. So, you may be wondering, what other changes happened to this series? Well, other than the animation completely switching to a Flash-like look, while also having some roughly drawn spots, and also yet another theme song change, this time to a new theme done by French rapper Block M, which you can listen to on my Post tab. Yes, YouTube renamed Community tab into the Post tab for some odd reason. So, you can listen to that. It is pretty damn good, even though I only studied a little bit of French, mostly into hockey or firefighting there. So, yeah. Now, you may be wondering, how did this series come to the US? Well, the original series from 2005 did not make it over here. So, the internet was the only way how. Sorry if I'm coughing a little bit. But the Season 4 version of the series is available on Primo TV that one English channel, which you can find in the 1000 section of your cable guide. It airs Thursdays and Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. Check your local listings. But it also airs in France on the French television division OKOO. OKOO. That's how it's spelled. And it's streaming on their app over there. The series is pretty phenomenal. And if you're looking for the series on DVD, the season 4 version, it did not get to have a DVD release, but the original 2000s version of the series did, with Sony Pictures Entertainment being the DVD distributor of the first 3 seasons. And unfortunately, it is not in the US. You can only get it from France, and therefore it is a PAL DVD. So it will not work on your NTSC player. So, whelp. So, does this show have any, like, real-life connections? Well, this show does have some sort of ties to what happened years later, because following the success of basically the franchise as a whole, plus Extreme to some extent, there is actually a World Cup in real life for street football. The league known as the ISFA, the International Street Football Association, had its World Cup last year in Riga, Latvia. And so many countries participated. The US, Mexico, Croatia, France, the Netherlands, and Japan, Australia, Germany, Spain, you name it, they were there. And it's a 3-on-3 game, and they have all these round robins and stuff, and it was the Netherlands who beat Spain for the championship. So congratulations to the Dutch for their accomplishments, and we hope that sport gains attention here in the US. And it's a lot of fun because it's 3-on-3, just like Big 3 basketball, if you remember watching that on Fox back in the late 2010s. Anyway, if you're looking for every episode of this series, Season 4 is on Primo TV. Check your local listings. And the original series, all episodes are available on Zodiac's official YouTube page for street football in English and football in French. So, I'm Shane Harris. Hope you enjoy the series, and we hope you enjoy our next episode, because according to my Shane Harris poem, which I am going by, we're heading back to the US, because we're going to exchange a football for a helmet with a red stripe, because instead of kicking soccer balls, we shall have some fun with Kick Batowski. We hope you enjoy that one next Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. Till then, I'm Shane Harris. Adieu, folks. Adieu.